In my local grocery store, the checkout line for register 4 is always long. I want you to visualize this with me, okay? We're talking past the checkout candy and gum, all the way down the aisle to the Quaker Oats section long, okay? Most of us would see this, probably very annoyed, and we would immediately go find a shorter line. And you would think the regulars, the weekly shoppers that really know their store, that they would absolutely avoid it. But in this special case, they're the ones causing the pileup. And it has everything to do with who's working that register. You see, John has been greeting and serving customers at this same grocery store for 23 years. This store has been through millions of products, thousands of employees, dozens of paint jobs, and 3 different names. But the constant has been John. In fact, with the last changeover, the #1 comment left from the community had nothing to do with what the new management would put on the shelves. But their #1 concern was, will John be able to keep his job? My name is April Allen, and I work for an organization in Texas called My Possibilities. And I have to admit to you that I'm a regular at Register 4 from time to time. In fact, John will give me his work schedule so I can plan my grocery shopping accordingly. So I'm sure you're probably all wondering, what in the world is it about John? Why are people willing to give up precious minutes of their busy lives? Well, before I answer that question, I'm going to take a step back because today I want to talk to you about Americans with disabilities. If you're a person living with an intellectual or cognitive disability, it is nearly impossible to find employment opportunities. Truly, you have to have 99 of 100 variables go your way. In my state alone, in Texas, check this out. There are 700,000 adults with disabilities, and only 9% of them are employed. Only 9%. And people with disabilities are no different than you and I. Just like every American, they want to live, and they want to work, and they want to play in their communities. But just because they have different cognitive abilities, rarely are they given the chance to compete for the same opportunities that you and I have. Think about it. Without money, how can you afford a home, let alone a movie ticket to go enjoy a night out with your friends? How can you have an equal experience as an American if you can't access the job market? Now, as a society, we care about people with disabilities. We do. I think everyone in this room probably could say they do. But for far too long, we have failed to truly value them. We have failed to understand what they offer, and most importantly, what they deserve. It's time that we treat the full inclusion of people with disabilities as a civil rights issue. And it has to begin by changing the employment landscape. Not just because a job creates an opportunity for a person, because it does, absolutely it does, but it creates a powerful ripple effect of social acceptance, just like it's done at Register 4. My Possibilities is providing continuing education and job placement opportunities for adults with disabilities that need our services and who want our services. You'll hear us refer to those that we serve as our hipsters. Those are our hugely important people. We work with each hipster individually to create a job pathway that they're interested in. And then in turn, we work with the employer to ensure that there's a job that's just the right fit and a workplace that's going to embrace that hipster. By fostering that type of acceptance, it is like dropping a boulder into a pond. The ripple effect is felt by everyone. For that employer, any myth or misconception they may have had about hiring a person with a disability, it organically fades away. That hipster is coming into work. They have a smile on their face. They're eager. Rarely are they participating in office gossip or the politics, and they tend to be more average than your loyal employee. Our hipsters are a positive boon to any company culture. Every exchange that hipster has with their coworker changes their hearts. They become advocates. they start noticing and seeing other people with disabilities in their communities. And with every conversation and with every exchange, the most important thing happens. They start treating people with disabilities just like everyone else. And for the customer, the same thing that's happening at Register 4. People want to talk to John. They want to exchange some smiles and some conversation, all the while buying their groceries. My Possibilities is proving that people with disabilities are ready for employment. We're one of the largest job placement organizations in Texas, and we have placed hundreds of hipsters in jobs within their communities, which sounds great, right? But it is not enough. Our goal is to bring our model to every state across the country, to change the story for 13 million of the most underserved and underappreciated Americans. We're ready to start a movement of full inclusion, but we cannot build on that movement until employers across this country are involved. So today I want to leave you with a challenge. The next time you have the choice to speed up your day and go through that self-checkout line or to spend it with John, slow down and get in John's line and become a part of our movement. Begin to see the value that people with disabilities in your communities bring to the table. Because John and millions of others just like him, they deserve it. Thank you so much.